All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to crack the code of one of the most persuasive poems you'll find in the GCSE anthology, Percy Bysshe Shelley's Love's Philosophy. We're going to break down how Shelley builds this absolutely irresistible argument. And he doesn't use flowers or chocolates. Nope, he uses mountains, rivers, and pretty much the entire cosmos.
And here he is, the man behind the argument, Percy Bysshe Shelley. Now, you gotta remember, he was a leading romantic poet, which means he was fascinated by the power of nature and big, big emotions. So in Love's Philosophy, he doesn't just describe feelings, he builds a straight-up logical case for love, using the entire natural world as his evidence.
And that really gets to the heart of this poem, doesn't it? I mean, forget just asking for a kiss. How do you construct the perfect, absolutely undeniable argument for one? Talk about a bold move, right? But that's exactly what our speaker is trying to pull off.
And really, the entire poem is a build-up to this one killer question. It shows you exactly what's at stake here. The speaker is basically saying, look, all this amazing connection and beauty I see in the universe, it's all worthless if you don't kiss me.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we'll figure out what the speaker's main goal is. Then we'll look at how he uses nature as his big piece of evidence. From there, we'll unpack all his poetic tricks, dig into the big ideas about love and even God, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you'll definitely want for your exam.
So let's start with the big question. What is the speaker actually doing here? You've got to see this poem as a monologue. Think of it like a totally one-sided conversation. Every single line is aimed at someone who's just, well, listening, silently. The whole thing is this one massive, focused effort to persuade them to, close the distance between them.
So, how does he do it? How does he build this amazing case? Well, he turns to nature. That's his evidence. So let's break down exactly what he's pointing out in the world around him.
Okay, this is where it gets really clever. Shelley structures his argument just brilliantly across the two stanzas. He kicks things off in a big way in stanza 1. We're talking huge, epic stuff, like fountains flowing into rivers, rivers into oceans, winds mixing forever. It feels vast, cosmic. Then, bam! In stanza 2, he zooms right in, making it all personal and intimate. Mountains kissing, waves clasping. It's such a smart move, shifting from this giant scale right down to something up close and personal. And this just hammers his point home, again and again. See, it's not just one or two little examples. He's literally overwhelming the listener with this relentless pattern of connection. The message becomes impossible to miss, right? Nothing in the entire world is single. But look, a great argument needs a great delivery, right? So let's shift gears and break down the how. What specific poetic tools is Shelley using to make his case feel not just logical, but super powerful on an emotional level?
Okay, his number one tool, his secret weapon, is personification. He gives human qualities, actions, feelings to things in the natural world. And this is absolutely crucial. Why? Because it turns nature into an active participant in his argument. It's not just pretty scenery. Nope, it's alive, and it feels the same kind of desire that he does. And these lines, perfect examples. The mountains don't just touch the sky, they kiss it. The waves don't just roll together, they clasp one another. This language of physical affection makes it feel like the entire natural world is in a constant embrace, providing the perfect model for what he wants the two of them to do.
All right, Shelley's other big move is the rhetorical question. He drops one at the end of each stanza, and it's like a finishing move. It takes everything he's observed in nature and turns it into a direct challenge. And of course, he's not actually expecting an answer. He's framing the question so the answer seems completely obvious. So obvious that saying no would feel just plain illogical.
And this first question is like a perfect bridge. He's just finished listing all these ways nature connects, and then boom, he applies that universal rule directly to them. He's basically asking, hey, if everything else in the universe gets to be together, why are we the only exception? It's so simple, but so powerful. So what do you think? Is this just the world's most sophisticated shut-up line? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, this is where we dig into the really big ideas, the stuff that elevates this poem from a simple request into a full-blown philosophical statement. This one right here is the absolute heart of the poem's philosophy. The speaker isn't just saying it's natural for things to connect. No, he's saying it's a law divine. He's bringing God into it. He's effectively saying their union isn't just his idea, it's sanctioned by God himself. I mean, that raises the stakes immensely, doesn't it? To reject him now isn't just rejecting a person, it's rejecting a sacred, universal law. And this idea, it's pure romanticism. For poets like Shelley, nature was powerful, it was sacred, it was like a holy book that could teach us how to live. So by calling this a law divine, he's plugging his personal argument into one of the biggest philosophical ideas of his time. And hey, a little tip, dropping that kind of context into your exam essay, that's going to score you some serious points.
Okay, let's bring it all home. We've covered a lot, so here are the absolute key things you need to remember to completely nail your analysis of Love's philosophy. So here they are, your 4 key takeaways. Number 1, the argument. Simple, right? Nature is all connected, so we should be too. Number 2, the language. Remember those 2 big ones? Personification, which makes nature feel full of desire, and rhetorical questions, which put the listener on the spot. Number 3, the structure. It's a super tight 2-part argument that goes from massive and epic down to small and personal. And finally, number 4, the context. Just remember this is a classic romantic poem, all about linking nature, God, and human emotion.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. When you consider the poem's flawless logic and the sheer pressure it puts on its silent listener, what is this really? Is it a beautiful expression of romantic desire, or is it a clever and maybe even manipulative masterpiece? That's for you to decide.